All right, so for my assignment, I chose to do games and gamification. I found a good definition, a good explanation for gamification on a website. I couldn't find the author, so I just wrote the title of it. So the title was gamification, and there's a works cited about it at the back of the presentation. But the definition says gamification is a technique where designers insert gameplay elements in non gaming settings so as to enhance your engagement with the product or service. So this could mean including games and stuff that doesn't necessarily need a game to have a practice or to study. So like with sports, obviously sports a game, but when it comes to school, when you think of school, you think of doing work and assignments and all that stuff. But if you can include games into that, then that is a form of gamification. So a couple issues that I found with gamification, or what some issues gamification can have, is first, kids might become more competitive with each other, which might not always mean the bad thing, but sometimes that can cause issues with kids in your classrooms, or as they get older, it could just cause them to be more of an aggressive person. So something I thought you could do to help this was have them work in teams, or don't let them know how each other did. If they don't know how each other did, then they're not going to know who did better than who. I mean, you can't always stop what they say to each other outside of the classroom, but the most you can do is try to prevent stuff as possible in your classroom at your time. Second, um, not every kid might work well with this method. Personally, I'm a very competitive person and I like games, so this works perfectly for me, but students are not always the same. Some of them could be the complete opposite, where they like to do independent work and they do better studying by themselves. And if that works for them, that's great. But including gamification, you need to try to find a good medium that works for both, which is what I said as a reason to help, like a compromise or help with students that don't always work this way. A couple current trends that I found for gamification is first, rewarding behavior. Um, in my student teaching, the teacher uses their behavior to reward them. So she has like a thing on the side, it's a couple sheets of paper, and at the bottom, it's pretty much the worst behavior. And at the top, it has the best behavior. And throughout the day, if they do something good or have the good behavior, then they move their popsicle stick up to the top. And it could go vice versa, where if they do something bad or they mess up with something, then she will have them move their popsicle stick down. And then she uses maybe 5 or 10. If you can get to the top 5 or 10 times, then you can pick a reward from the little reward box that she has for them. And I think that shows a little bit of gamification. Also, you could do something non-academic. So, of course, there's grading and there's tests and assignments, and you want good grades on those. But there's also things, the issues that aren't having to do with grades all the time, like maybe getting to your seats quicker or getting your folders or something. There's just plenty of things that you could use that are non-academic that you could give kids reward for, praise them for it, and show them what good behavior looks like, and that could impact other kids in different ways as well. Um, Ways that I could use this in my classroom and strategies and stuff like that would be, first, don't make this the main way to teach. I think that might confuse kids in a way. I think you first need to help them understand the subject before you turn it into a game or some sort of quick lesson like that. You can use it as a tool to help add to the understanding of a certain subject. So you could use it as a review or extra practice. And you could also use it just to not lighten up the mood, but just add a different environment to the classroom for a change. The second thing I said, you could use it to involve all students to see where they are lost and what they understand. So if you use games like this, you can see all your kids' progresses and see where they stand in the classroom. Some kids you'll see excel at some things and some struggle more with some things. And you could use it to gather data to see just where your classroom stands and what stuff that you maybe need to work on more, or what students might need more help. A couple online tools that I found was, the first one was called Prodigy. Um, the definition or explanation of what Prodigy is, it says sometimes kids just need some math practice to get things to stick, and Prodigy delivers a fun format with great teaching support. Actually, in my second grade student teaching, the teacher actually uses this, and that's when I first realized I thought Prodigy was a good tool that they could use, and I know all of the kids in the classroom love it. I think they collect like monsters and then they fight enemies and they can fight each other, and they use math problems to help attack with their whatever attacks that they use for It's kind of like it's a children's game, but yeah, the second one I found was Khan Academy. The explanation for this one, it says it's a tough to stand out in the crowded early learning spaces, but this collection does just that, offering a one-stop shop for creative learning of fundamental skills. I actually used this when I was younger too, so I understand Khan Academy and I understand how the gaming works in this one as well. I think you just move throughout levels and stuff like that, and I thought it was really fun as a kid. And then lastly, Kahoot. I feel like we even use this now and today as college. It's basically just an effortlessly fun quizzing that can lead to productive formatting, assessment, and student reflection if implemented effectively. So that's where you either will throw a quiz together or you'll find one online and you can use that to help study with your kids, and you can go and maybe you reward the top three people because it shows first, second, and third place, and it gives kids the help to understand how much that they know, and you can see what they know and what they don't know because you can see who answered, not who, but you can see how many answered for this and how many answered for that, and you can see where they understand and what they don't understand. And I use this almost throughout high school, and we even see this today in college. We've used it plenty of times already for fun, but I mean, you could still use it in the classrooms as well. And then just in my conclusion, throughout this assignment, I've found good tools and reasons to help add this to the way I teach my students. I'm a big fan of gamification and knew 100% that I wanted to use this in my classroom. Games always seem to help me in a positive way, and I hope that this will help benefit my students the same way. And like as I said, for me, I'm a competitive person and I like to win. And knowing that is my strength, I can use that to help me study, help me get better at a certain subject. The moment that I saw we had this assignment, the first thing that brought my attention to was gamification because I know that's something that I'm going to want to include into my classroom. So I guess that is all. Here's my works cited. I used gamification for the first one, and then I had the 10 great free games for elementary. That was just the explanation for this one here for Prodigy Khan Academy and Kahoot, just to give like an explanation, a more professional one. And that is all.